the founder of Davos started back in like 1973, and he started getting everybody together. It's become like the elite shindig to be at in the month of January every year. And they kind of set the agenda, right, for what's going to be top of mind for the year. Well, his name is Klaus Schwab, and he's been quoted a couple of times. He argues that he's being taken out of context. He probably is being taken out of context. So in total fairness, I think he's just trying to cite the potential dangers, or perhaps, depending on how you look at it, opportunities of something called artificial intelligence, AI. So he sat down for an interview at his Davos conference, and he spoke about just exactly what the power of AI could be. Let's run this clip because he talks about, ladies and gentlemen, how one day you may not even need to vote because AI will know what you want. Now, is that a good or a bad thing in your opinion? Watch.
The technology now is, and digital technologies mainly have an analytical power. Now we go into a predictive power, and we have seen the first examples, and your company very much involved into it. But then the next step could be to go into a prescriptive mode, which means you do not even have to have elections anymore because you can already predict, and afterwards you can say, why do we need elections? Because we know what the result will be.
Wow. Well, I still want to have elections. Thank you very much. He's trying to demonstrate that AI can be extraordinarily powerful, and I'm sure it can. It's part of the reason why we need to keep a very, very close eye on it, ladies and gentlemen. But nonetheless, I mean, thinking about the power of AI, its ability to maybe wipe out elections in the future because it knows in terms of the overall commonality, what we need, what we want, etc. That's kind of scary. In fact, it reminds me of this science fiction novel. I had the author on maybe a couple years ago. I gotta dig this out and play some for you maybe next week, because in this science fiction novel, the AIs take over the world. It's this dystopian novel about what could be. And it was actually written by somebody who was, at one point, he came up as a PhD candidate in the 1970s and got his PhD in none other than artificial intelligence back in the day when nobody cared about artificial intelligence. So he was a little late to that, but became a software developer and said, you know what, I've written enough code, I'm going to write a book. And the premise of this book is really kind of fascinating, because in the book, sure enough, there are no elections because the AIs control everything. So not to go too far down that path, but wow, Klaus, you may be having a premonition there, one that we don't necessarily want.